Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10 at their own 16.
Get wide. Zero. Jumper. Slam. 40 got.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And a short gain across the 15 to the 17-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
Hey, 70! Twist, middle.
On 2nd down, Swift. And he'll take this one up to about the 23. It'll be a gain of 5, but still about 3 yards shy of the first down marker, and now it's 3rd down.
Strap, lady! Come on, the ball! Deuce! Omaha, ready, move! Rush in! 32!
Throwing is Stafford. And tight coverage there. It's knocked away, incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. Taken in at the 22. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And the Cards will take over 1st and 10. Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started. The last possession, these guys were able to tie the game with a touchdown, and now they'll have a chance to move out in front.
Yeah, let's give a big assist to the defense who got the ball back. The special teams went out there, handled things. They've got it. They've got momentum. I know they're eager to get out there and put it on display.
You got it. You got it. You got it.
We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll again head down to visit with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando, back for another year. He'll have scores from around the NFL here on this opening weekend. From the 36, Murray fighting, lost the football.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Throwing is Murray on 3rd down. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off around the 41. Andy Isabella was the intended target. 2nd interception for him now here in this first half. And you got to think he's a rookie, Charles. How much does confidence start to become a factor?
I think that's a great question because that's what they're going to check on when he gets to the sidelines. The coach is going to check on, his teammates are going to check on it, because when you haven't done it before, it's not something that's part of you. You got to see how you're going to react. Let's see how he bounces back.
Yeah, because 2 interceptions for him in college and a half. I mean, that just didn't happen.
Watch the safety creep. Check 32. Crouch. Check. Lucky. Hey, switch gears.
They'll run on 1st down. Swift. He will push his way down to about the 14. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Not a big run on the first play of the drive, but that doesn't necessarily mean it was a bad play. Sometimes you're just trying to settle in, get your guys a little bit of contact, and get things moving.
Hey, 50. Hey, 50 the mic. Big 20. Let's go. Check 37. White. Check.
On 2nd and 9, Stafford nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Devon Kennard. Credit him with a sack, and it goes as a loss of 6. After the sack, Stafford and the Lions come up on a 3rd and long situation.
Switch it, switch it, switch it, yeah, switch it. "32." 48. I got you, son. 21. Check 13. Check 13. Hey, 22. Kill.
They'll fake it. Now Stafford. And it's caught. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
The beauty of route running is it doesn't matter what position. Everyone's doing the same thing. In this case, tight end, selling the vertical route. Get the defensive back on his heels, break off for the corner. With good timing, you get a completion, as we just saw there.
And he's going to take it in for a Lion touchdown. A great play there with his first career touchdown in his first career game. And the Lions have taken the lead. Extra point good by Prater. And that makes the score 14-7. After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. Likely time for just one final play, and then it'll be off to the locker room to talk about how they can erase this deficit.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people look at it and go, well, maybe you take a shot here.
And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Justin Coleman. So we're at halftime here in the opener of the 2019 regular season. As now we send you out to Orlando and hook back up with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. We'll see if Week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And both of these defenses have been stifling these last few drives offensively. Just not able to get anything going, so what needs to change?
I think a lot of the guys will go back and review, so to speak, because everyone has someone assigned to how did each play work. Okay, what did we use that kind of worked for us during this game? Try and get back to some of those plays, as well as the possibility of showing something you haven't shown already in this game and trying to change things up.
We'll see if they take the advice of Mr. Davis. Great way to start the drive. 20 big ones and a 1st down.
Sometimes it's designed, and sometimes you just have to know when to leave the pocket and move and make something happen. And on that play, he was able to get on the run and was still accurate throwing the football.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10.
Double right. SOS.
To throw is Stafford. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
So second down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43.
He's checking.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 11 yards there and a Lion first down.
Would you say this offense is locked in right now?
They're having no trouble on this drive. What is it, 3 plays, 3 first downs?
Yeah, you talk about on the march. They keep this up, they'll get to that end zone real fast.
So into Cardinal territory now. It's 1st and 10 at the 46.
Show it up. 10. Drill right, 22. Alert. Watch the 20.
Just beating the play clock. Stafford. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete. The intended target, T.J. Hawkinson. And that'll bring up second down.
Michael, set. Blue 60. Zero. Check three. Tight dog. Easy. Alert. No. 22. 99.
Now a give, right side. Swift. And once again, not much running room, if any at all. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
Check nickel. Check 3 and middle. Check 9. Check. He's coming. We got double up.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. Completing it here to Marvin Jones. And he gets this only to the 41. Not near enough for the first. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down. Here is Matt Prater now. He's got the leg for this as he holds the NFL record with a 64-yarder back in 2013. So this will be spotted on the midfield logo. It's a 58-yard attempt. And I tell you what, he got it from 58. That had lots of leg behind it. So put another 3 on the board. All things considered, a good opening drive to begin the 3rd quarter.
And as a defense, the way that this game is going, you're excited to see those points go on the board. Gives them a little bit of leeway to play with when they're out on the field, but they're real excited to see their offense score. Now they get to go out there and do their part.
This will be taken to the back of the end zone.
We play to win. Let's go.
Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to...
And I think he's going to go. They're not going to get him. Past the 20. Touchdown, Cardinals. Bo Scarborough, 75 yards. As they are now just an extra point away from making this a 3-point game. Not a whole lot to recap on that drive. Just one play, 75 yards to the house.
Yeah, it's a long way to go. Remember, rarely is it a straight line 75 yards, too. Got to have a little extra in there. So whatever the final number is, a well-deserved seat on the bench, a little oxygen if he wants it as well.
That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted, and we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. That one nearly 30 yards, 29 officially.
First down, Lions.
Stafford now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10.
Slam. You go tight. Stay 50, stay 50. You got tight right there. Hey, alert 3. 59.
Stafford. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. 20. A huge play there on the screen pass. 44 yards. Well, make that now 2 completions for him on this drive, and these aren't ordinary completions. They're big ones.
Yeah, these are the types that make a secondary talk to each other and not in a good way. Oftentimes pointing fingers. Hey, who's got him? Someone cover him. That type of indecision can open up to even more big plays.
Watch the ship. Hey, 50. Set.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. Nothing doing there. They're going to wind up holding him at the 2. No gain there, and it's going to set up 2nd and goal.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
They'll keep it on the ground. Swift, and he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage. Back at the 6. It's a loss of 4. Now 3rd down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
So backed up to the 6 now. 3rd and goal.
50. Alert 3.
And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play. 3rd and goal.
Easy. Check 31. Check 26. Hey, watch it.
Here's Stafford. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Snags it for the pick. A critical error there in a tight game of the 4th.
All you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the 4th quarter, turning it over, now the door is open for the opposition.
Just in general, when you're passing in the 4th quarter with a lead, no matter what point, you got to be super careful.
Got to be careful, and sometimes you can be so careful that you end up running yourself into an error.
The veteran Jamie Collins there on the tackle.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
3 down. Hey, check. 3 down. Check 3. Pick down. Come.
A big spot now for the rookie Murray. And the catch made by Hopkins. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. That goes for 14 yards. 1st down, Cardinals.
First and 10 at the 33-yard line.
Well, some good games around the league here early in week 1, and this one's shaping up to be as good as any of them as we come up on a 1st and 10. Running, it's Drake, and he'll get 2, maybe 3 up near the 37.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On 2nd and 7, Murray. It's complete to Hopkins. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. It'll be an Arizona 1st down on a gain of 17. We saw a number of good games earlier today. This one might top all of those. It's been a dandy as we come up on 1st and 10. Now he's going to swing this one out to his running back. Give him 2 yards on that play, and it'll be a 2nd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on 1st down. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
This a big play for both sides. What will we see here? 3rd and 4. It's Scarborough again. And he's going to have the 1st down, yardage to the 35. Able to get what they need to keep the drive going with a 6-yard pickup on 3rd down.
1st down. 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. 3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the 4th. So the Cardinals, they've got the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And to give this time to the tailback. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31.
I like the call there because that was one to take time off the clock and get them closer to getting out of here with a W. In the mind of the play caller, all you want to hear is tick, tick, tick.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. He's back to throw. He finds Hopkins complete. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. A Cardinal 1st down on a gain of 13.
And the Cardinals 1st down. 1st and 10 at the 18-yard line.
Murray going to lead his guys up 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. Now a handoff here to his running back. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Deron Harmon makes the tackle.
Partner, you got about 20 coaches on your payroll, but there's 60,000 of them in the stands. I don't think any of them like that play.
And the later we go, it's starting to sound like 100,000 in here. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Now Murray. To the end zone, but it's incomplete. Andy Isabella was the intended target, and it's 3rd down. 3rd and long coming up defensively. You pressure the quarterback or drape all over the passing lane?
Yes, that's exactly what you do. It's both because they're not mutually exclusive. They may have been at one time in football, but not anymore. You want to have that pressure, and if you have a big-time pass rusher, send him after the quarterback, and then make sure you blanket the field.
They come up to the line now facing a 3rd and 10 after the incompletion. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. The Lions now going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. A big one coming now for the kicker, Zane Gonzalez. From the right hash, this from an even 40 yards out. Gonzalez's kick is good. And with a little more than a minute to go, we are all tied. So a big kick to get this back to even. Yet now the worry is, did you leave too much time on the clock? Because another field goal the other way, that does you in.
You're exactly right. You didn't get into overtime yet. So now as a defense, you've got to think to yourself, you can't play prevent defense and just give up big chunks of yardage in front of you, but you also can't let anyone behind you. So you sit right on the line between the two, play the best defense you can, and not make it easy for them to move the ball downfield.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They've got work to do, but they do still have a bit of time here.
And they've got to feel comfortable with that, but they have all their play sequences called. If they get out of bounds, that allows them to huddle and call another play, but if they don't, it's hurry up to the line of scrimmage and either spike it and stop the clock or continue to move it downfield in order to try and get in range and win this game.
See if they can do just that. Give them 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Brings up 2nd and 7 at the 20.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
Middle. Omaha, ready to move. Jim.
Stafford. He'll get this one to Galladay. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. He'll get 17 that time, and the Lions have a first down.
Ready? 260. I'm going to run you over. 32. Run you over. Watch the safety creep. Check. Hey, red. Crunch. Check. Come on.
Now Stafford. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. And the Lions quickly now going to use the last of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 13 seconds left to play. After the sack, Stafford and the Lions come up on a 3rd and long situation.
Hey, switch gears. 32. Check 37. Big 20.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And they will get this across midfield, but still well short of the first as he's dropped at the 46. And we've got a timeout. 9 seconds remaining. Here comes the Lions punter now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time.
Let's go.
Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. Tie game, and barring something incredible here, we're likely headed to overtime.
And just a couple of scenarios here to keep in mind. One, if you...
And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off at the 33. It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started. They control their own destiny here. They have the football in overtime. Obviously, a touchdown would win it.
And I think teams around the league are still adjusting to the idea of going downfield, scoring a touchdown wins the game, because they were used to just going downfield and trying to get in field goal range to win a game. Still having to make that transition. Let's face it now, the ones who are doing it best know they need to go down, attack, put the ball in the end zone, and not leave it up to a field goal and give the other team a chance.
Yeah, as we said, they control their own destiny now. 2nd and 6, just inside the 30. They try again with Scarborough. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. 7 yards there and a first down. As a fan of the NFL, for an opener, you can't ask for much more than this overtime in Week 1.
I know it's hard to believe that some people may not have been watching our game, but I'll bet through social media they found out this one was snug and getting into overtime, and they flipped over here in a hurry. This is fantastic. If you're a fan of ball, you love these types of games.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Going to give this time to the tailback. And the hole closes quickly there. He gets maybe a couple up to the 38.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. First throw of overtime from Murray. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. They follow up the gain of 2 with a gain of 1 that time.
In order for a screen pass to break big, a lot of things have to come together and be well executed, but all it takes is one small thing to go wrong and keep it from being a big gain.
3rd and 8 situation. A tough spot here in overtime on the opening drive. 2 minutes left in this overtime session, and still all tied. They had the catch on 2nd down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at 3rd down here.
Right here, guys. Mike 51. Mike 51.
From the gun on 3rd down, Murray. And Daniels has it over the middle. And he will get him down a couple yards shy of the first down marker. A nice tackle coming up from his free safety spot. Decision time now on 4th and about a yard and a half.
I can still hear my high school coach, John Ford, right now. I want my #1 play with my #1 runner over my #1 blocker. Get me the first down. But some may very well say, punt this thing away, pin them down deep, and play field position.
So a big move here, playing to win in overtime. They're going to go for it on 4th down. Oh, and now movement and a whistle, and they may have to rethink their plans on 4th down. Here's Andy Lee now, on for a very important punt here in overtime. He gets us away. It's a good one, drawing toward the sidelines. This one angles out of bounds in a good spot in the coffin corner. They're going to mark this out of the 5-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb.
Tight down. There you go. Check, light. Check. Back. Spot. 21. Spot. No.
On 1st down, Swift. And they'll get him down up past the 15-yard line. He'll get a dozen there, and the Lions have a first down.
I guess it's good we can't really read the mind of the defensive coordinator now, huh?
Had him pinned back there deep, give up that run. Can't be happy.
Yeah, whatever's in his mind right now, we probably couldn't say over the air.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Blue 60.
Brings up second and 11 at the 16.
Monday. SOS. Out. He's checking. He's behind us.
Now Stafford with his first throw of OT. And the pressure gets to him and brings him down. Stafford is sacked. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. They'll be left with just one remaining here at OT. After the sack, Stafford and the Lions come up on a 3rd and long situation.
Leroy. Check 24. Watch the twist. Double right.
Now a give, right side. Swift. And he's going to be stopped well short of what he needed as the tackle is made at the 18-yard line. Now the defense will burn their 3rd and final timeout. It'll be their 2nd and final timeout, remember, here in overtime. We'll be back. On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. And taken right on the 30. And he is finally out of bounds, but not before taking it down inside the 30. Well, that looked for a second like he might take it all the way, but as it stands, it's still a massive return. And the Cardinals, great field position to start this drive as they take over 1st and 10. Now the timeout comes here in the waning seconds of this overtime as we could be set up at long last for a potential game winner. And he got it. The kick is good in overtime. He's able to split the uprights. And the Cardinals win it. We were just treated to an absolute dandy in this one. A great finish in overtime with a long field goal. Everybody, including us, on the edge of their seats. Quite a game.
And it's rare that you get a game into overtime that it doesn't turn out to be a dandy, right? That's what we saw here. And just what you were talking about. A long field goal to win it, so definitely not a gimme. So there was tension all the way through until the ball went through the post.
But it did go through the post. Ice water was in his veins. So for the Cardinals, they needed overtime to do it, but they get the Week 1 victory thanks to the field goal. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Baltimore Ravens. Meanwhile, for Detroit, they obviously fall to 0-1 with the defeat. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.